With WWE Bad Blood quickly coming up upon us, I thought it would be a good idea to go back and look at the 10 best WWE matches in Bad Blood history. And I think this list is going to surprise a few of you because as I was putting together this list, it surprised me, and I actually forgot how many great matches have taken place at Bad Blood. Let's start it off. Number 10. Let's start it off at number 10. WWE Intercontinental Title Tournament Final Match. Owen Hart defeated Farouk to win the championship. This was 1997. This was the inaugural event. This was a sleeper of a match. Farouk, a.k.a. Ron Simmons, is a guy that I think people look more of a comedy figure or just a tag team player because of his success as part of the APA with JBL or John Bradshaw Layfield in the Attitude Era as part of APA, and that's just simply not the case. Ron Simmons is a notable name in the history of the pro wrestling business. His run in WCW, what we saw in WWE was really not the Ron Simmons or the Farouk that really was in his prime. He was in the back nine of his career at this time in WWE, and his match with Owen Hart was really one of the last few swan songs that he had in terms of a really good in-ring match. The fact that the IC title was on the line, it only made things better. Up next, World Tag Team title match, Chris Benoit and Edge. They defeated La Resistance via DQ. Now, the champions, they obviously retained due to the DQ finish, and Benoit, which we'll get to in a minute, actually worked later that night. But this was a solid opening match that showcased Benoit and Edge going back to the SmackDown 6 era, where these two guys, they could work with anyone, they could have a great match with anyone, and this match showed yet again why they're two of the best workers in the history of the business, although Benoit is still a horrible human being. Up next, Intercontinental title match. Booker T defeated Christian by DQ. Now, obviously, Christian, he retained the title here as he was still the champion due to the DQ, and I don't like the fact that there were so many DQs, but the fact of the matter is this. Booker T, one of the best, arguably underrated workers in the history of the business. Christian is right up there. Booker T obviously found much more success in Christian as a single star, as a main eventer, both in WCW and WWE. But Christian, he's found his groove in AEW nowadays, but he also had a lot of good matches in WWE and was a workhorse for the company for multiple years that resolved around the Intercontinental Championship. And that is why it is on my list. And I think it's a match that y'all should definitely go back and check out. And just a bonus one, I'm going to put Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels in 2003. These guys have worked so many times, yet so many times they have done excellent matches. And this one that went almost 15 minutes, it was a sleeper not only on this card, but on this entire list. If you just want a good technical wrestling match that has great psychology between two of the greatest workers of all time, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels is on that list. Match that you may have forgotten, and that is Chris Benoit defending the World Heavyweight title in 2004 against Kane. Chris Benoit got an 18-minute match out of Kane. It was actually one of the best matches on the 2004 card. I highly recommend you go check it out. Like I just talked about, Benoit, he pulled double duty here and pulled out a really good match with Kane. Benoit was at a time in his career where he was still trying to prove that, hey, I can be a main eventer. Hey, I can be a world champion, and it doesn't matter who I'm working with. And this match put a spotlight on that. Him and Kane, perfecto, in my opinion. Really, really good match. Go out of your way and check it out. Goldberg versus Chris Jericho at Bad Blood 2000. Goldberg and Chris Jericho, they had legitimate tension outside of the ring dating back to their WCW days, which added a intensity to their match at WWE Bad Blood 2003. Jericho, known for his technical skills, faced the powerhouse of Goldberg, and about that blended different styles and real-life animosity, making it an intriguing match. And I think some of people, fans in general, they'll forget that Goldberg and Jericho actually worked because of the whole WCW debacle and Jericho not wanting to put over Goldberg while he was on this long dominant run. But this 2003 bout was actually pretty good versus Shelton Benjamin. IC title on the line 2004. 2004 Bad Blood was actually a really, really good year. So Orton's impressive reign as the IC champion saw him defend the titles against the likes of Edge and even in this case Shelton Benjamin at Bad Blood 2004. At the time, these were two up-and-coming stars. They delivered an athletic and fast-paced match showcasing their potential as future main eventers. And while Shelton Benjamin, he never got to the main event scene, he did have fun matches, including this one with Randy Orton. Obviously, Triple H that year getting shocking wins over the game. But this match, it continued to help Orton's potential being shown as a future main eventer. Obviously, he became a future main eventer later that year, winning the world title from Chris Benoit at SummerSlam. Oof, oof, oof. Triple H versus Kevin Nash. Yes, I put a Kevin Nash match this high on the list, 2003. This match may not have been as revered as others, but it was a violent Hell in a Cell bout that had heavy emphasis on storytelling. Triple H defending the world title against his former best friend, with Mick Foley coming back and being the special guest referee. The match saw plenty of weapons and brutal spots, adding to the intensity of their feud, and in my opinion, showcasing what Hell in a Cell is all about. It may not have been a 5-star match, but if you want to show someone the brutality of the Hell in a Cell bout, or the Hell in a Cell structure, this would be on my bingo card. Number 2, this and the first one I had to go back and forth on, but man oh man, this match was solid, and I highly recommend you go back and check it out. It'll be Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, 2004 world title, in what was billed as the culmination of their intense rivalries. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, they battled it out for nearly 50 minutes inside Hell in a Cell. The match was grueling, hard-hitting contest, filled with emotions as two of WWE's top stars fought to the bitter end. This match is one of the longest and most brutal Hell in a Cell bouts in history. Think about all the feuds, all the matches, all the time that Triple H and Shawn Michaels spent inside of the ring. I mean, this feud really lasted 2 years if you think about it. Dating back to 2002, SummerSlam, Shawn Michaels working his first match in 4 years. They worked a little bit through 2003. They obviously did the triple threat at WrestleMania 20 that saw Chris Benoit go over to win the world title. And then they feuded throughout. Even Royal Rumble earlier that year, they worked. So this was a match that I think fans should definitely go back and look at because it was that dang good. And of course, number 1, you could not put this list together without it being number 1. It was Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, first ever Hell in a Cell, first ever Bad Blood PLE pay-per-view event, 1997. Why is it great? Well, the match is widely regarded as one of the best in WWE history, not just Bad Blood history, or even Hell in a Cell match history. Just one of the best matches of all time. Introducing the concept with a brutal yet bloody encounter. The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, they delivered on a classic with incredible storytelling, high spots, and the iconic debut of That's Gotta Be Kane, who tore through the cell door, had a stare down with his brother, The Undertaker, before hitting a tombstone to The Undertaker with Shawn Michaels able to crawl over and get the 1, 2, 3. That set up the WrestleMania 14 match with Undertaker going over his little brother.